Welcome SML to Bushwhacker Breakdown Episode 2. I've got Dan with me, and I know everybody's excited, hoping they're not on this episode, except maybe DW. He knows he's on it and somehow still seems excited. But Dan, you want to get us started?
Yeah, baby, let's go. This is SML Bushwhacker Breakdown. Even some are saying it's a beatdown. I know some feelings were ruffled last week. Some people were a little upset, and we got the chat popping a little bit. I think you're going to talk about Colt. I think he chatted more after our last episode than he has the entire cycle. So people are taking notice, Bomber. They don't want to be on the show. They want to improve their play, and that's what we're calling people out. Get better at this game. Stop just kind of throwing the game on and just, picking whatever is going on, or you just kind of hope things work out your way. Actually take some time and put some effort into this game. SML's got to get better because we're tired of just running through everybody. Before we jump into this week's episode, though, we got to back up a little bit and we got to take a look at what happened last week. Every week we put two teams on blast. Last week it was New England Patriots and Bean, and it was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Paulie. And you know what both those teams did, Bomber? Both of those teams went 0-3 and didn't even win a single game, man. We put those two guys in the cooker. We put them in the fire. We told them, get better and be better at this game. And you know what they both did? They took the walk of shame, put them in the box, put them in the corner, wrap them up. They're done for the season. It's over both in New England and Tampa Bay. Anytime you see them on a schedule, automatic W, because neither of them can compete because they both stunk last week.
Yeah, and they weren't the only ones. Looking at Colt, we called out Colt for both gameplay and his roster. And he goes out, and the very next game gives up like 200-something yards rushing to Aaron Jones. But he did improve against Chris Carson, who's been one of the top running backs in the league. He held him to only 105 yards on 19 carries. So I'll give Colt a little credit there. But then Colt, like Dan said, you were extremely vocal after the last episode, probably more than I've seen you in chat the entire time I've been in the SML. And then I look at the roster moves, and you cut Tannehill after one game and picked up Sam Darnold, who would have been half the price of Tannehill in the beginning. And you could have kept Cooper Kupp the whole time. If we were going to double up on people, Colt, I'd have picked you again for this week, but I'm going to let you off easy. What the hell are you doing in LA? Let's hope you turn it around, because right now it's just a dumpster fire, and that's being disrespectful to dumpster fires. All right, so this week for the roster, it's going to be Grams. I have no idea what your plan is, Grams. Why did you waste a second-round pick on a halfback when you have Zeke, who's locked up for 4 more years and untradeable for all 4 years? It's not even like the halfback you picked up is like a 20-year-old, 21-year-old. He's 23. He's only 4 years younger than Zeke. By the time you cut Zeke, he's going to be 27. And then you'll be looking for another running back. He's got you, half a yard carry less than Zeke, and now the 29th ranked scoring offense. So I don't know what you got out of that, what your plan was, but the team looks lost. You have no help for your defensive line and linebackers. Once again, you got rid of Van Der Esch early, and you've done nothing to replace him. Just not sure what you're doing there. But we'll give you some advice. Stop trying to go best available in the draft, because you should be filling your needs, and you have needs. Decide if you want to be a contender, because right now you're drafting like a guy that has no intention of competing for a division, let alone a Sombardi. If you just want to run around with a rookie running back and try to develop him just because that's fun, then good for you. But don't pretend like you're going to be competing for a division or a Sombardi when you're drafting guys to replace the best player on your team. It just doesn't make any sense, and that's why, Grams, you're this week's roster.
Yeah, and Bomber, let me just follow up with it. Didn't this problem happen last cycle too? Didn't we see the same thing develop? Almost identical.
Yep.
Yeah,
last year it was receivers. He drafted like 5 receivers instead of defense.
Yeah, and then wondering why he didn't have defense. Now he says he has cap issues, and we understand that in Dallas, but loading up on the same position might not be the best answer for your cap solution. So anyways, I'm going towards one of my favorite targets, and he knew it was going to be a matter of time before this topic's come up. It's been a hot topic in the SML for the last month, but we're going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're going to Matt, and we're looking at Haskins, his quarterback. Now, Matt's had all the different excuses. He's had all the different reasons why, trying to justify everything. He's really figging it. Okay, we termed that last week. He's figging it. Matt's been figging this the whole time. And here I am. I'm going to break this down as best I can to disprove every single point Matt would have. First of all, let's just break down Haskins a little bit. Okay, he's 25 years old. We all know that that's not young in Madden terms. He's 77 speed. That's 86th speed out of all the quarterbacks in the SML. 88 throw power. That's 49th best. 80 short accuracy. That's 65th best. 84 mid-range or medium accuracy. That's actually 25th. So he's actually in the category of as many teams. Remember, there's only 32 teams in all of football, Matt. So so far, only your middle accuracy falls under the limit of about as many quarterbacks there are in starting teams. Your deep accuracy, that's 43rd in the league. Your play action, that's 79th in the league. Your throw under pressure, that's 68th in the league. So any place you look at Dwayne Haskins, there's not one category where it says he gives you an advantage. Maybe you could say the 25th best mid-range guy gives you advantage than some guys that are on backups and even third strings in the league. Okay? I understand. You use the argument. You say, hey, I don't want to spend a lot. He's cheap. Well, okay. 5 years, $9 million. Well, there's probably a good reason why he's cheap. But let's just use that. Let's just say that. You know what is also cheap though, Matt? A drafted rookie is very cheap. Do you know, Matt, in the third round, I got my rookie, I believe 28th, maybe 30th pick in the third round. I've got him for 4 years for $2.84 million total, Matt. 4 years for $2.84 million. And you know what, Matt? He's the exact same overall as your quarterback is right now. The exact same overall. And you know another thing, he's only 22 years old, Matt. You know how many XP it takes for me to get one boost in a token? 4,900 XP. You know how much it costs for Dwayne Haskins? 6,400 XP. That's the difference between a 22-year-old and a 25-year-old, Matt. There were 6 quarterbacks drafted in this last class. 6 quarterbacks that didn't require you to trade somebody or to give up somebody or require you to invest a lot of capital, because we know you weren't getting a first-round pick, but there were 6 quarterbacks total in that draft that are already better than Dwayne Haskins. 6 quarterbacks. So, Matt, here's the thing, okay? I know it's tough. I know you're dying on this horse. I know you love to stick to your narratives. We heard it all last cycle. We're hearing it all now. But, Matt, at some point, you just got to admit, I was wrong. I was wrong. It's not hard to say it, but I know it's difficult. Just say the words, I was wrong. And you know what you do? You draft a quarterback. Just draft anyone. Find one that can maybe move a little bit. Find one that has higher throw power. Find one that's going to fit your set. Just draft a quarterback, Matt. Please, I'm begging you. I'm a Steeler diehard fan, and it just hurts me to watch that team just be stuck in mediocrity. Just do something, Matt. Just get away from Dwayne Haskins. There's no point whatsoever that you should stick with him any longer than the rest of the season. Here's one last little tip, Matt. Okay, just between you and me. I know you and me are listening. There's a guy out there, T-Cobb. Okay, just remember that name, T-Cobb. T-Cobb. If you don't want to draft one, maybe you're afraid you're going to draft the wrong one, T-Cobb. Look up who it is. Look at the owner. Make a play for him. He'll be exactly what you need, T-Cobb. All right. Sorry, Bomber. I had to get that off my chest. It's been a long time coming.
It has. And I know you need to get that out.
Yeah, that was tough. But you know what? Not only is that tough, but I got to look at the next thing too. And we're moving on to now gameplay. And this one kind of hurt me as I was watching it too. And for gameplay, I got to go to the Indianapolis Colts. I got to go to Mike FML. Mike, man, I love you, dude. Like, you're a good guy. I think you're trying to play the game the right way. I think you're trying to do things the right way. I think you're building a great team. But Mike, this game that I watched, a game that you had to almost win because of the AFC South and playing the Houston Texans, you had a chance to kind of squash some of those second and third place teams and get that hold on top of that division, make the playoffs. And you went into this game, and I don't even know what you're thinking, Mike. So let me break this down. First, kind of some tough breaks on the first drive. You had a chance to stop it on third down. There was a long kind of slant that played out. No problem. He goes up 7-0. I understand that happens. Next possession you had, there was a bad spot. You probably should have had a first down. You got a 4th and inches. You had to punt. Hey, that happens. I understand that. But here's the thing. Here's what I'm noticing is you're just not reading defenses very well at all, Mike. You're just not reading them at all. I commentated your game against the Chiefs, and that was just a train wreck. You threw 3 pick-6 in the third quarter. You're not reading what the defense is giving you. So on your second possession, you're down 7-0. You snap the ball. You see a tight end streak, and your read somehow was that the inside position on the tight end streak was open while there was a man defender standing on the inside. Now, we said the same thing last week with Monte. When you look at the defense, and if you're trying to throw something on the inside and the defender's on the inside, that means he's not open. Don't throw the ball, Mike. Okay, hey, it happens. You're down 14-0. It's still not over yet. You still can climb back into this game. But you know what? You know what I see? I see you not using your best player. Mike, I don't know if you know this, but David Carr, Derek Carr, Mike Carr, any Carr you can find is not better than Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor is your best player. I watched this game, and it was 21-0 before Jonathan Taylor had more than 2 rushes. 2 rushes you gave Jonathan Taylor, and the game was 21-0. The game was 14-0. You have a first and goal at the 7-yard line, and you don't give Jonathan Taylor the ball. In fact, Bomber, you wouldn't even believe this. I don't even know if you saw this. On 2nd and goal, Mike runs a quarterback option, a read option, doesn't hand it off to Jonathan Taylor, but keeps it for Derek Carr, and he gets no yards. Like is Derek Carr somehow like Lamar Jackson? Like, give the ball to Jonathan Taylor, Mike. Come on, what are you doing?
And it blows my mind because every Sunday I listen to him in chat talk about how Frank Reich's an idiot because he doesn't give the ball to Jonathan Taylor.
I was going to bring that up. It was hilarious. I was just kind of laughing my head off as he's just talking over and over thing about Jonathan Taylor. The next play after that QB option he runs, pick 6, threw a pick 6, and that's when he went up to 21-7. It gets even better than this. So it's now 24-7 late in the first half. He's got an actual chance to get a field goal on the board, and then he gets the ball the second half, so he can be right back into this game. Throws the ball, nice play, gets down to the 36-yard line of ZZ's, 35 seconds left. He doesn't spike the ball. He has no timeouts, doesn't spike the ball. He runs a play. 17 seconds runs off the clock. What does he run? He runs a play action. He runs a play action with literally like 15 seconds left on the clock at the 36, and ZZ brings a full blitz, and he takes a sack, and he doesn't even get a field goal off. If he would have just spiked the ball, he could have kicked a field goal and been down 14 points. Hey, okay, still 24-7. His ball started the second half. It's 3rd and inches. Now again, we're in the third quarter of a 24-7 must-win kind of game. Not must-win, but important game for Mike. Jonathan Taylor at this point only has 4 carries, 4 rushes in the third quarter. And he has 3rd and inches. 3rd and inches. Okay. Oh man, I can't even. This is just 3rd and inches. He comes out in a shotgun. ZZ, some reason, shifts his defensive line so that there is not one defender over the center or the right guard. Not one defender. He's in a shotgun. A simple, easy inside zone would have gotten him the first down, even more than first down. There was even no one to block there. And Mike calls a pass play on 3rd and inches. Now, hilariously, he actually completes it, and they have a holding penalty. So bad luck. That happens. You know what happens in the next play?
Pick 6.
Yes. Pick 6. 31-10. I stopped watching. There was no other point to watch it. Mike, you've got to use your best players. Give the ball to Jonathan Taylor. Read what the defense is doing. Start with the foundation of what you have in Jonathan Taylor, and then you can build Derek, David, Bob Carr, whatever his name is. You can build it off of him, and I think you can get back to the playoffs. So, Mike, I'm calling you out, buddy. Do better, Mike. Do better.
All right. Speaking of doing better, somebody who did better for about 3 quarters, DW. Man, I watched that game against Meats. You were just moving the ball, scoring at will. Had it 38-24 with a little over 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Thought the game was over. You were up 14 points. All you had to do was run out the clock. You had meets in multiple third and longs. What did you do in that last 5 minutes and 14 seconds? Did you chew clock and run it out and take the win? No. You threw 2 interceptions. You gave up a bunch of first downs on third and longs. What are you doing? You didn't. Then what'd you do? You do the same thing against QP. Now you didn't have the same lead as you did against Meats, but you were up. It was late into the third quarter, and you just get away from what you do best and what even got you the lead. You've got losses to the Ravens, the Bears, the Browns, the Bills, the Dolphins, and the Lions. You're supposed to be a playoff team. You've only got one win over a 500 plus team, and that's the Vikings. And you beat them early in the season, and now is when he's really turning it on. So I don't even know if you have a good win. You just do what you're best at. You got Kareem Hunt. You've been killing it with Kareem Hunt, and then throwing an Njoku off the play action until it's the end of the game and you have a lead. Then you want to get cute with Zach Wilson or whatever his name is, Brian Wilson. I don't even know. You just roll out, throwing it away, I don't even know what you're doing. Like you get into the fourth quarter, and it actually reminds me of QP last cycle, where it's like you handed the ball off to the controller off to your girlfriend or something, and was like, "Go ahead, close this out for me," because it's completely different play style, completely different guy playing, and then you just choke it away. Now you've choked away games to Meats and QP. You're sitting at like 4-6. You're probably going to miss the playoffs if it weren't for our next guy. And the next guy I'm going to call out, Jace moving the Raiders. You made all kinds of moves in the offseason. You've got the whole little primer pussy posse, whatever they are, talking about how we're calling you out for your team building. We just don't know. And you do have the top 10 scoring offense and defense. How the hell you got top 10 scoring offense and defense, but you're only 6-5? That's awful. You lost to the Rams 4-7. You lost to the 6-5 Steelers, and Matt will spend all day telling you how bad he is. You're supposed to be competing for a playoff spot, and you got losses to those two teams. You got a top 10 scoring offense and defense. Can't win more than 6 games. You got a win over the Cardinals. That showed potential, but it also shows inconsistency. You can't be that inconsistent in the AFC and still get a playoff spot. It's going to take you 10, maybe 11 wins just to have a shot at the playoffs, and you're losing to the Rams and the Steelers. The remaining games should put you into the playoffs, but you got to win all the games you should, which is the Colts, the Broncos, and the 49ers. And then you're still going to have to win 2 against the playoff caliber teams and the Chargers, the Chiefs, and I'll even throw the Jets in there because he made the playoffs. But luckily for you, it's going to be a 4-quarter game, and DW only plays 3 quarters. So, Jason Move, you need to come out and you need to win at least your next 3 games.
Nice. So you got Jay Smooth. He's the team on blast this week, and he's got the next 3 games. We'll see whether or not he gets the same fate as Beans and Pauly and falls into the box of shame, and whether he can handle the pressure. Well, for me, I'm going back to the NFC, and I'm looking in the NFC East, and I'm looking at the Washington football team and NYT. NYT, man, you got one of the top maybe 3 to 5 teams at draft time. You picked a great team. You got a good quarterback right off the bat. You set everything up well for you to win this division, which is a very winnable division. And yet here we find yourself again in kind of the midst of the dogfight. But you've done well, and you made a move to switch to a different quarterback. It seems to be paying off for you. Whether that it was the right move or not doesn't really matter because it's working for you. And hey, I'm the first to be all in favor of someone switching to QB that works for them. But what I'm looking at is your next 3 games is going to be huge, man. I'm putting you on blast, not because I don't think you can do it, because I want to challenge you to do it. You got the Cowboys, the Packers, and then you got the Mad Bomber Bushwhacker Browns as the 3rd game. Those are 3, well, I'll say sometimes 3 tough games because I don't know which Grams is going to show up. I don't know which Packers is going to show up. I do know which Bomber will show up. But I'm looking at those next 3 games, and this is a chance for you to separate yourself from the NFC East and put a foothold on that division that you're saying, this is my division. You are letting tiny and confused Grams on his roster moves and KJ hang around in a division that you should dominate. And I'm kind of getting tired of just watching you just kind of float around in kind of this average. Well, I'm kind of good, maybe not. I think you should actually be one of the top dogs in the NFC. I actually think you should make a push for some conference championships, NYT. So the next 3 games, I'm looking. I want 2 wins at least, minimum. You should at least go in and beat the Cowboys and beat the Packers, and then hey, who knows what can happen against the Browns? But at least 2 wins out of the next 3 games. NYT, I'm putting you on blast. Do better this next 3 games. Well, there you go, Bomber. It's a lot of emotion over here. I know in my end, man. I watch these moves. I look at these games. I see some of these schedules, and it just gets under my skin because I see so much that can get better, and I see so many people that can do more, and just the floundering and just kind of the average stuff, man. It just kind of makes me sick. How does it make you feel when you watch these things?
I laugh. I think some of it's hilarious watching this. But with a lot of confusion because I'm not sure what some teams are doing or what their game plan is or what they're getting out of this league. If you want to play to just I don't know run around with a rookie quarter or a running back because that's fun, that's cool. But you're gonna be the bottom of the NFC East. Well, you should be. Well, we'll see if NYT takes a hold of that division.
Yeah, well, it's gonna kick in here because we're the next show we got is pretty much going to be the final show for the regular season. Then we get into the big boy season in the playoffs. So we're gonna see a lot of stuff happen. And when that pressure starts mounting, when that thing starts getting a little bit more intense, like you can't lose any more games, we start to see a lot of bad decisions. So I'm looking forward to that part.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how the rest of the season goes and who we pick next week to be on Bushwhacker Breakdown. So unless you got anything else, that's been.
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just do better. Do better, SML. Do better.